Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been paying any attention at all, you know things are moving at lightning speed right now. But the sheer volume of announcements from this single day, it absolutely proves that AI is no longer just some shiny new feature. It's literally become the invisible infrastructure of our daily lives. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to explore 5 tectonic shifts: unleashing the AI frontier, the AI consciousness controversy, the era of integration, maturing digital infrastructure, and finally, navigating the tech future. Let's just dive right in.
Shift number 1. Unleashing the AI frontier.
We are starting right at the bleeding edge of innovation today with Anthropic's historic release of Claude Fable 5. Now, to understand why this is such a massive deal, we got to look at what a Mythos-class model actually is. This is a frontier-tier architecture that, up until literally today, Anthropic restricted solely to cyber defenders and critical infrastructure providers. It was part of a super strict government collaboration. But releasing this as Fable 5 gives the general public access to an AI tier that previously only existed in restricted research labs. Anthropic perfectly described the difference between the restricted version and this new public version. It's basically the difference between a lion in the wild and a lion in a zoo. The core intelligence is exactly the same, but they've built a much stronger cage around it.
And when you map out the access levels alongside those safety guardrails, you can really see how Anthropic is proving that safety isn't just some ethical hurdle anymore. It is a massive competitive business differentiator. By actively blocking advanced cyber and biological capabilities in Fable 5, they can confidently release a way superior product to their enterprise clients without taking on massive liability. Meanwhile, the completely unchained version, Mythos 5, remains strictly in the hands of the US government for cyber defense. So it's a highly calculated risk, right? They're betting that a safeguarded release absolutely beats the old Silicon Valley mantra of move fast and break things.
That brings us to shift number 2, the AI consciousness controversy.
So on the exact same day Anthropic launched Fable 5, Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman fired a massive warning shot on the Decoder podcast. His stance is just absolute. He said it's both dangerous and a philosophical failing. We want AIs to be controllable, contained, accountable, aligned tools that serve humanity. For Microsoft, anthropomorphizing AI is a super dangerous game. It's a tool, full stop.
This brilliantly illustrates the two totally distinct camps forming in the industry right now. On one side, you have Anthropic's approach, which heavily values scientific transparency. They argue that, hey, nobody truly understands the limits of consciousness, so we really shouldn't feign certainty. Discussing the unknowns openly prepares society for future, highly complex scenarios. But on the flip side, Microsoft's approach prioritizes maintaining strict human control. They are genuinely afraid that even suggesting an AI has subjective experiences creates totally unwarranted public fear, and honestly could trigger an absolute nightmare of legal and regulatory complexity regarding AI rights. Ultimately, whoever wins this philosophical debate, they're likely going to be the ones writing the global regulations for the next decade. Which brings us to a massive pivot point. Creating frontier AI has become so outrageously resource-intensive, we really have to ask the question: if Apple, literally the most valuable company on Earth, can't build frontier AI alone, what does that mean for everyone else?
This takes us straight into our third shift, the era of integration.
$1 billion. That's the staggering reported figure for the new Apple and Google alliance. Now, for years, Apple and Google were fierce ecosystem rivals. I mean, the tech equivalent of oil and water, right? iOS versus Android, Siri versus Google Assistant. But this deal proves that building top-tier AI entirely in-house is practically impossible now. Apple essentially swallowed its pride, realized their internal foundation models just couldn't compete fast enough with the market leaders, and officially partnered with Google to use their Gemini engine.
So Apple is leveraging Google's Gemini engine to leapfrog from a seriously lagging voice assistant to a completely comprehensive operating system intelligence in iOS 27. We are talking natural, multi-turn conversations, deep third-party app integration, and instant visual intelligence for images and documents. But here is the absolute genius of Apple's execution. They are taking Google's incredibly powerful cloud engine and wrapping it tightly in their own signature privacy layer. Wherever possible, your data is processed right on your phone, keeping it completely out of the cloud. They basically integrated the absolute best tech on the market, but packaged it to maintain that deep user trust they're famous for. The key takeaway here: foundational AI is just becoming a basic utility layer. The real money and the real value is being made in the user interface and those privacy wrappers.
Shift number 4, maturing digital infrastructure.
When we look at the decentralized finance space, Ethereum-wrapped Bitcoin has an absolute stranglehold on the market right now, a massive 85% share. It's essentially a digital bridge that lets you use the value of your Bitcoin
inside other financial applications on the Ethereum network. And this huge dominance presents an incredibly steep uphill battle for the financial firm Circle and their brand new rival token, SirBTC. So how is Circle attacking this monopoly? With strict, ironclad compliance. They are using the New York Department of Financial Services for regulated custody and utilizing Chainlink for real-time proof of reserve. What that means is anyone can mathematically verify that the digital assets are actually backed by real money, 24/7. It really proves that digital asset infrastructure is finally growing up. This is a highly deliberate play for the institutional DeFi market. It signals that massive traditional finance firms are getting ready to enter the space, but they absolutely demand the exact same transparency they get in traditional banking.
Meanwhile, over in global communications, have you ever sat in an international meeting waiting awkwardly for an interpreter to finish a sentence before you could even respond? Well, Google is tearing that barrier down completely with Gemini 3.5 Live Translate. Listen, this is not your old robotic, clunky text-to-speech app. This is real-time, continuous voice translation in over 70 languages. And the craziest part? It actually preserves the speaker's original emotional tone, their vocal pitch, and their pacing.
Here is how it actually pulls this off without that awful, awkward lag. Traditional translators wait for you to finish your entire sentence. Gemini Live Translate continuously listens, and it only pauses for just 2 to 3 seconds to gather the proper linguistic context before instantly generating the translated speech in your own voice. By balancing just a few seconds of latency with incredibly high contextual accuracy, it effectively replaces the need for human interpreters in global business settings like Google Meet. Just imagine the international expansion possibilities when the language barrier practically vanishes overnight.
And our final shift, number 5, navigating the tech future.
Let's take a quick look at how consumer hardware is evolving to support all of these massive digital advancements, using the gaming industry as our lens. Nintendo's big June Direct event basically revealed their exact hardware strategy for the highly anticipated Switch 2. They dropped 2 absolute bombshells, a full exclusive remake of the 1998 classic Zelda Ocarina of Time and gameplay for the massive multi-platform title Kingdom Hearts 4. This shows us exactly what Nintendo's playbook is. They are heavily leveraging their intense catalog of nostalgia to drive console sales, while finally packing enough modern processing power into the machine, like supporting Unreal Engine 5, to ensure they absolutely do not miss out on massive third-party AAA games. It's a brilliant formula designed to completely dominate the living room. So, wrapping all of this up, what should you take away from today's explainer? Well, as you plan your own business and tech strategies, keep these immediate upcoming rollout dates in mind. If you want to test the incredible reasoning capabilities of Claude Fable 5, its free trial within subscription plans ends June 22nd. You definitely need to prep for iOS 27 launching in the fall, and developers should absolutely be targeting winter for Siri AI third-party app integration. And of course, keep your eyes peeled for that late 2026 release window for the Switch 2 and Zelda.
I want to leave you with this one final thought to chew on. What exactly happens to our society when language barriers, interoperability limits, and computing restrictions simply vanish? Track these tectonic shifts closely, because the future really belongs to those who adapt to this new infrastructure today, rather than simply marveling at it tomorrow. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.